About one of the top 5, top 7 players that will be part of the, at least potentially, NFL draft of next season. He's one of the best defensive tackles in all of college football. Look for Miami to take advantage of that.
Will Shipley drops back deep to return the kick, but he'll let this one land in the end zone for a touchback. It comes out to the 25-yard line for DJ Uiagalelei. And of course, he had all the credentials coming out of St. John Bosco in Bellflower, California. Considered the #1 pocket passer in our class of 2020. Now, last season led the Tigers to a 10-3 record. That's a down year for Clemson. This season, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's got 5 on the ground as well. But he's been pulled from a couple of games, Dan, and it's been a roller coaster at times for Uiagalelei. They'll run it with Shipley on first down. And he gets brought down right near the line of scrimmage. James Williams made the stop.
I think for DJ, if I was going to say 3 things: simplify, play fast, and attack. He gets himself in trouble occasionally when he hesitates. Just play fast.
To throw for the first time. And an out to the sideline caught by Davis Allen. A pickup of about 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for Clemson.
And Davis Allen's the complete tight end for this football team. Really good ball by DJ. The difference between DJ this year in comparison to last year is these 3rd and 4 situations, you can utilize him as a designed runner because he's such a big threat.
Miami shows blitz. Uiagalelei with the look over, communicates to his offensive line. See if the Canes try to bring pressure on 3rd down. Only one deep safety. Here comes that blitz. There's the slant, and it's a catch and run, first down for Ngata. Perfectly executed by Clemson.
Took a long time at that line of scrimmage, really trying to figure out what Miami was in defensively. They play man coverage. Ngata starts as the outside receiver, 1-step slant in, gets through a little traffic. Good start on that 3rd down conversion for DJ. Ball came out quick.
They bring Antonio Williams in motion. The quick toss to Shipley. Speed to the edge, a little stutter step. Showtime for a gain of 14 for Will Shipley.
Big thing is you're going to see Will Parks lead as you're going to get that motion there. DJ's going to read it, and then beautiful job of understanding. Defensive end claps, kicks it out to Shipley, and Walker Parks, their right guard, is the puller leading out in front.
Shipley's had a tremendous season. Just shy of 128 all-purpose yards per game. #2 in the ACC. And he lines up as the back once again. Play action. Uiagalelei looked like he wanted to take a shot and instead just throws it away. Good coverage downfield by the Canes.
You got to be happy with that decision. If you're Dabo Swinney with DJ, I love the reality of first down. Let's take our shot right around, a little past midfield, right? It's not there. Credit Miami for playing the proper coverage. And DJ, instead of holding it and trying to create something, just kick the ball out of bounds. We're doing a lot of this early on in this game, really trying to pay attention to what Miami's trying to do pre-snap, holding the play call and seeing for an advantage.
Quarterback run. Uiagalelei, tough to bring down. Dragging a couple of tacklers for a gain of 7. Corey Flagg tried to wrap him up first and got dragged for about 2 or 3 extra yards.
I mean, DJ's every bit of 6'4", 235 pounds, even though he spent all offseason losing all that weight. You know, the defensive coordinator for Miami, Kevin Steele, said he's like a big athletic tight end when he's running the football. You saw it there.
Well, this Miami defense, specifically the defensive line for Kevin Steele, can get after the quarterback. These are the #1 and 2 teams in the ACC in tackles for loss. And a 4-man rush. Uiagalelei, though, well protected. And there's the slant again. Antonio Williams this time, knocking on the door of the red zone on this opening drive. as he beat Tyreek Stevenson.
You see the patience at the line of scrimmage, though, by Williams. Comes off, kind of sets the defender, gives DJ time to move the linebacker with his eyes, creates a bigger window, and then he hits Williams on that little slant. I'm such a fan of this young man's game. Everything you want at the receiver spot, talent-wise or skill, he has.
Again, that quick toss to Shipley. Again, he gets the corner. And he picks up 8 yards.
You gotta love this start if you're Clemson offensively. Ball's coming out of the quarterback's hands quickly. You're getting the ball in the perimeter in your run game to Shipley. Quarterback run has been involved, so I think there's a big push to get DJ settled into this game early on.
Little zone read, and the dive ahead to Shipley, very close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like he might be just a shade short. It'll be 3rd down and less than 1.
I think right now, if you're Clemson, you're obviously treating this as a 4-down territory unless you get some crazy negative play. So you're calling a play right now. Do you want to be overly aggressive, take a shot at the end zone, or do we want to just try to go confirm a first down with a little punch up the middle?
Quarterback run again, and that's good for the first down. He thought about slipping it out in the left flat to Antonio Williams.
You got a little bit of a zone read RPO at the same time. Give it to Shipley. If not, you can pull it and kick out to the flat. Defense does a good job kind of covering it down, and he takes it himself.
You said something this week that's interesting about this Clemson offense, and they have an injury to deal with as Marcus Tate, the starting left guard, is down. We'll talk about that when we come back. Opening drive for Clemson in the red zone.
My first save, there was this little sick kid.
Crunchy satisfaction.
Boy, one of the all-time most special traditions in college sports, Senior Day, and that's Ty Herbstreit. Kirk's son making his way down the hill. Allie, Kirk's wife, hugging him. Just a great scene, and Kirk, congratulations on your son on Senior Day. Tough that he can't be here. Here is Uiagalelei, bouncing it right. Gets walloped at about the 8-yard line and driven back. You know, Dan, we love what we do, but that's a good example of their sacrifices. Kirk Herbstreit obviously calling a game and doing College Game Day and wouldn't have it any other way, but could not be here for Senior Day. You miss things.
And on the complete other side of the country as well this morning.
Yes.
Congratulations to the Herbstreit family. That's very cool.
2nd down inside the 10-yard line. And running down the sideline was Mario Cristobal to call timeout for Miami. So a defensive timeout called by the Canes before 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it looked like there was some communication going on by Miami's defensive trying to get aligned there. So good job by Coach Cristobal getting that figured out.
Well, we have a chance during a Miami timeout. Let's get to our impact players with 9.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, and there are some playmakers on the field today.
Well, we've already seen Antonio Williams' impact for Clemson offense. I think he's their go-to receiver right now. Such a slippery route runner. And then for Miami defensively, Wesley Bissaint. He looks like the old school Miami linebackers of the past, an absolute eraser on their defense and striker. I'm excited to watch both those really young players, true freshmen, play for either side today.
Antonio Williams already with an important catch and run on this drive. And if there's anyone that can get the Canes back to their former glory, you have to think it's that guy. Right. He certainly understands what Miami football is supposed to be all about.
What he said yesterday is, I'm made for this. You know, I am absolutely built for what he's trying to get back here.
After the Canes timeout, Uiagalelei takes a shot to the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown by Davis Allen. 7-0 lead for Clemson. Terrific opening drive.
Yeah, you're going to get a slant at the bottom of the screen by Davis Allen. But everything happens when you put the belly and the ball in the back. Right here, when that ball fake happens, you're trying to get that defender and that defender to step forward. It's a beautiful job. How about the ball placement by DJ and Davis Allen on the catch? Clemson with a great start at home.
Of a home win streak in FBS history, which they could accomplish if they beat the Canes today.
How about the reality that there's not a single player on their team who has lost a game
Ever.
at home?
Ever.
That's an incredible accomplishment.
P.T. Potter puts this one through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And again, this longest home win streak is that. So now the Canes respond with their offense on the field for the first time. The true freshman Jakari Brown with Jalen Knighton to his right. Gives it to Knighton and he goes up the middle and is met after a gain of a couple. Well, Tyler injured. Jake Garcia came on in a 4 overtime win against Virginia. Jakari Brown last week against Georgia Tech. The first true freshman quarterback to start for Miami since Brad Kaya back in 2014. So the third different starter at quarterback, and on 2nd and 8, he's going to take a shot. Blown coverage, and they can't take advantage. Xavier Restrepo wide open. It is a walk-in touchdown if Brown can find Restrepo, and he overthrows it.
Watch Restrepo. He's just in the slot. And you're going to get some miscommunication by Clemson. There's no one within 20 yards of him. Sometimes the hardest ball to throw is the guy who's completely wide open. That is a tough miss to start this game for Miami's offense. Obviously something on tape from Clemson defensively. You take advantage of it. To not hit, that hurts.
From a touchdown to 3rd down. Now how does Brown respond? It's a 4-man rush. He's out of the pocket. He's going to try and run for it, and he'll get it. The long strides of Brown pick up the first down, but we've got flags thrown back near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 4. Half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
So wipe away the 3rd down run for Brown as Jalen Knighton's called for the personal foul.
Yeah, it should come into our screen right on Jeremiah Trotter Jr. right there. That shot by Jalen Knighton, who's lined up out as a wide receiver, is what the officials throw.
So that puts Miami all the way back to their own 13-yard line. 3rd down and 22. And they'll be conservative, hand it off to Knighton, and he will just advance it as far as he can to try and buy some real estate for the punt crew.
And Mario Cristobal's got to be frustrated. You get that 2nd down shot to Restrepo, and it's a miss. You get the 3rd down scramble by Jakari Brown, and the flag gets thrown on Jalen Knighton. Looks like he's arguing for a face mask call right in that pile there. So tough start for him because there's plays there to be made.
Lou Headley will kick it to Antonio Williams. Williams, returnable from just inside the 40. Dodges a couple of tacklers and gets close to the 43. Statement Saturday continuing here on ESPN and the app with Hendon Hooker leading number 5 Tennessee against South Carolina at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And right now, Dan, where would you say Hendon Hooker is in the Heisman race?
Probably outside the top 3, but certainly in the top 5. I think the top 3 would probably be Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, and probably Drake May from North Carolina. I think that would be the top 3 for me right now. Hendon probably sitting in that 4 or 5 spot.
Great field position for Clemson with the early lead. They fake the toss. Uiagalelei, a shot up the seam. Laying out was Allen, and he couldn't haul it in. He was open, and Uiagalelei missed him.
This is a type of throw that I would love DJ to really implement into his offense, right? Just this is a little bit of a touch ball there. You don't have to put that ball on the line. There's great space between the free safety in the corner. A little bit more touch allows Davis Allen just the ability to adjust to that throw. It does not need to be a firm. You want to get that like secondary and third speed type of pitch.
Swing pass. Antonio Williams gets a block. Spins to midfield. It'll be third down and about 2. Mitchell Agude made the stop. And under 15 yards,
Sure.
DJ Uiagalelei, as you would expect most quarterbacks would have a very high completion percentage.
Big part of
but
their offense.
He tilts very high. Obviously, it drops off significantly. He becomes a much more mediocre quarterback 15-plus yards down the field.
There's a lot of talent there, though. I mean, he's a very good thrower. It's just trying to find that consistent rhythm in his performance.
Out to Shipley, first down. Put that right on Shipley's hip and picked up about 5.
That's fantastic by DJ. I mean, that's really getting backside to number 4 in Will Shipley. And I think the thing that I'd love to see in these first 2 drives of DJ is while he misses that seam to Dave, the ball is coming out. He's being decisive and convicted about the things that he's seeing. His eyes are telling him. That's really well done.
To Corey Couch was shaken up on that last play as he was over on the tackle on Shipley. And he is not putting any weight on that right leg. So that's the starting star corner. That's a very valuable player on the back end of Miami's defense. And we'll see if he can walk it off.
This is a Miami defense that's had some really good moments of football this year. Very young. I think they play 1 senior on their defensive side of the football. And that's DJ Ivey at corner. They're young in their secondary. They're young at linebacker. There's youth on their defensive line. Couch a big part of that.
First carry for Phil Maffa. Breaking tackles. He is a load to bring down at 230 pounds. He's close to a first down as well. Stepped out of bounds a couple of yards short.
And you talk about a guy for this football team that has just made a massive jump. That's Phil Maffa. He's had some opportunity. He looks like an NFL back when he runs the football. Beautiful patience. His role has increased. Every time he touches the ball, good things happen for not only him, but for their offense.
Went to Grayson High School in Loganville, Georgia. Same high school as Wayne Gallman. Uiagalelei, long throw to the sideline. On time to Brandon Spector.
This is a good shot. I love the fact that they moved the pocket for DJ. Ball fake, move the pocket. It clears the vision of the quarterback, puts his back foot in the ground, and rips the ball out to Spector. That's a little bit. This offense has been the same for a long time at Clemson, but there's been a little bit more wrinkle for Brandon Streeter, their offensive coordinator this year, that I've liked.
They swing it out on the edge. Williams gets a block and gets brought down. Good tackle made by Cameron Kinchens. Number 1 in America with 6 interceptions. Had 3 last week, including a 99-yard pick 6 in the win over Georgia Tech.
Yeah, you could say he's one of the best defensive backs in all the country. He rivals Mario Cristobal when it comes to who's in the facility later watching tape. Cam Kitchens, the sophomore, has a very bright future.
Maffa empties the backfield on 2nd and 8. Uiagalelei checks it down to him. Maffa wide open with a stiff arm. Cuts it back inside the 10, and it's 1st and goal for Clemson.
What a great job by this Clemson offensive line. Again, DJ getting through number 2, number 3. We said going into this game, let's play fast, simplify, and attack. He's doing a really good job of allowing his feet and his eyes to tell him where he's supposed to throw the football.
Maffa tripped up at the line. Good tackle by Kinchens. Although at the line of scrimmage, Dan, if Miami can't be more impactful than we've seen so far, they're going to have a long afternoon. You'd have to think their best chance, especially when Uiagalelei drops back to go through his progressions and throw the football, is getting those pass rushers to him, and they have not done that so far.
Yeah, and this is a defensive line that's the heart of their defensive unit, and it embodies everything that the culture they're trying to rebuild there. If they can't win at the line of scrimmage and slow down this run game a little bit and get to DJ, Clemson's going to have a massive advantage.
Quarterback run. Uiagalelei dodging tacklers. Looking for the goal line. He's got it for the touchdown.
And DJ gets stunted or stopped early on. And just watch Miami. Everybody converges. No one keeps any outside leverage or shoulder free. Credit DJ for kind of seeing that vision to the right. Yeah, like, he's had a really good start to this football game, but if you're Miami, you watch them on tape, you go, man, they have so many plays that they're good, and then so many plays, or a handful of plays where, what are we doing? And Dabo's talking to DJ right now saying, hey, good job getting through your progressions, good job getting the ball in your hands, and then being a playmaker in the run game.
A 12-play touchdown drive to open. That led to lies. These students a big reason why they've won 39 in a row in this building, and they've got the early 14-0 lead. Our first chance to say hi to Matt Barrett.
Guys, good afternoon. Just wanted to...
It's already been a dramatic day of college football as Jalen Knighton lines up to take the handoff and goes down. Lost 3 on first down, but game-winning field goals for TCU against Baylor, and somehow Michigan survived as well against Illinois. Either of those wins bother you if you're a member of the committee, keeping them in their same spot in the top 4?
No, with Michigan having Ohio State next week, the reality is like you start to peek at that, so credit them. TCU continues to survive, so it's hard to knock them.
Yep.
But they don't look overall incredibly impressive to the committee, I can't imagine.
Another run, and Knighton moves the pile for maybe a yard and a half. So now it will be 3rd down and 11, close to 12.
There's Clemson defense, man. Even though Brian Brzee is not playing, I think there's probably 6 guys that are on the field right now that are going to be top 50 NFL draft picks. 2 of them you're looking at. Miles Murphy, 98, 13, Tyler Davis. There's their defensive coordinator, Wes Goodwin, who's been here a long time. Love his hand signals there. You know, and this is the identity of their program. We are going to come after you from the very first snap with our pressure package. See all those bodies up at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes a 5-man rush. Brown spins out under pressure. Thrown down. Jeremiah Trotter gets the sack back to the 8-yard line. He's got to make Dad happy. He did that for 11 years in the NFL, a 2-time All-Pro.
Watch this stunt, though. What they do is they take their defensive linemen and go inside. They're trying to create chaos from the offensive line. They oblige, and then here comes Trotter wrapping around. To see Miles Murphy squeezing the edge with the left hand, and Trotter tracks him down. Really good job of understanding the blitz stunt scheme. Murphy squeezes, Trotter wraps around, and there's an unselfish sack for this Clemson defense.
A line drive kick. And it takes a Miami bounce. Fielded on a hop by Williams. And he scoots to midfield. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you.
If you're looking at ahead, you're paying attention to TCU. You want them to lose, and simply you're paying attention to USC and asking for them to lose at some point in the next couple weeks.
Shipley, 4 yards on first down.
And it's also, Clemson's got to handle their own stuff, right, Bob? Like, not only do they have to win today, I absolutely believe that they have to win convincingly, because they haven't in moments this year looked like a top 4 team. And then next week against South Carolina, they got to do it really well and win convincingly. And then against North Carolina, who has become a top 14, top 15 team in the ranking, they got to hammer them as well. They got to control what they can control when it comes to their outcomes.
Shipley submarines for a couple of yards up the middle. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Well, it is rare for a 1-loss Power 5 conference champion to come up short where the college football playoff is concerned. 16 of 19 1-loss Power 5 conference champions have made the CFP. That would be what Clemson would be if they ran the table. That would be what North Carolina would be if they ran the table.
Right. But they got to do it in those games. They got to start to look, either Clemson and or Carolina, they have to start to look with their play on the field and the way they control the football game like a top 14.
Uiagalelei, well protected again. Finally, the pocket collapses. That's a coverage sack for Miami, and they needed it. Jafari Harvey brings him down. A loss of 6. And on 3rd down, great job by the UM defense, with Clemson starting in plus territory.
You're trying to get a mesh out this shallow cross. Miami does a really good job of passing it off. Now look, everybody, no one open. Nobody's open. Nobody's open. DJ, what I'd love for you right now.
And they're about to get the football back. Jacoby George with a fair catch at the 14-yard line. Let's ask you today's Aflac trivia question.
What do we got?
Now we talked 1994.
Yeah, Napoleon Kaufman, man. Come on.
My bald spot had already started to form in 1994. Can the Canes move the football for the first time? They have negative 11 yards of offense. And they're not going to get too much here. Jeremiah Trotter brings down Jacari Brown after a gain of 3.
No, Bobby, for this Miami offense and their offensive coordinator, Josh Gaddis, this is an offense that's had to change kind of who they are scheme-wise and or identity-wise so much this year, because we talked about it. They started with Tyler Van Dyke, different quarterback than Jacari Brown, and then Jake Garcia. Now Jacari Brown's an option quarterback, and offensive line injuries. Like, they've had to really try to figure out week by week what they can run.
First carry for Henry Parrish after missing last week's game. 2 more.
And I talked about the youth of their defense. Gosh, it's a young offense as well. I mean, really, there's 2 seniors that play on their offensive football team. John Campbell, the left tackle, and DJ Scape, the right tackle. Both guards are either a true freshman and or a redshirt freshman. So this is an offense that's gone through a lot of change while also being a very young unit.
And injuries on the offensive line as well, losing 3 projected starters. That is not easy with a true freshman quarterback behind a makeshift group. He's well protected here, though, and finds a crosser, and that's a first down. Will Mallory, the tight end. The 3rd down conversion fires up the Canes sideline.
They're just trying to get meshes. Now watch Mallory come from the right side of the screen. Hesitate. All the bodies come from the left, and that forces Trotter, the middle linebacker who's covering a man, just to have to wait for a second. Really good ball out in front by Jacari Brown. So those are the benefits of getting into those 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 4s, is you can get the short completion versus man coverage using rubs and picks.
Tipped ball, intercepted. Jacari Brown tried the quick out. Jalen Phillips off the carom, picks it off, and Clemson's got it back deep in Miami territory.
Watch Mickens on the right side. R.J. Mickens comes, ball goes off of his left hand, popped up in the air, and then Jalen Phillips waiting for it. Really good job of understanding pressure if you're Clemson. We're bringing the blitz, the ball comes out early, Mickens gets the left hand up, pops it in the air, and those are the worst plays for quarterbacks.
You know, Dan, a number that jumped out to me getting ready for this game is seeing that Miami's defense has 17 takeaways this season.
Right.
And as a team, they're now -4.
Almost impossible to do.
That's hard to do. That is a lot of giveaways by your offense. End around. Breaking a tackle, Antonio Williams. And goes down at about the 22-yard line, a gain of a handful.
And to your point, I think there's a difference between turnovers and takeaways. Okay, I consider that a takeaway by Clemson. You know, they're realizing we're blitzing. I don't get home, let me get my hand up in the air. That's not necessarily a turnover, because I don't see that Jacari Brown does something careless or reckless with the football. It's just a very good play by the defense.
Shipley and Maffa both on the field. It is Maffa right up the middle for a first down. James Williams tripped him up, but he picked up 9.
Just watch the patience. If I gave you one thing that Maffa does well, just patience at the buck. Now go. I think that's really the thing that has started to separate his play on the field, is he never gets on the toes or on the heels, of his offensive lineman. He's always allowing the blocks to develop, and then he's strong enough and or fast enough to burst through the hole.
And now number 7, Kobe Pace in there. He had missed the last 5 games with a high ankle sprain, so Clemson getting healthy in the offensive backfield at the right time of year.
Man coverage, you can pick whoever you want in the throw.
Uiagalelei, quarterback run. And he is dragged down at the line of scrimmage by Darrell Jackson. Maybe fell forward for a yard. Chris.
Bob, defensive injury for Miami to update you on. Linebacker Corey Flagg is questionable with the lower body injury. He is currently in the locker room.
Well, they're already down Wayman Steed, who will start alongside Corey Flagg. That makes way for the true freshman Wesley Basaint.
You got man, you could run one of your PROs, pass run option, with the quarterback draws the secondary aspect.
Loud, back right corner of the end zone, incomplete. Jake Brenningstool, the intended receiver. Tyreek Stevenson, pretty good coverage.
You know, we often hear the RPO, right? The run first. If the defense kind of commits to the run, then you replace that with a pass. Clemson does what I call a PRO. They go for the pass first, sometimes just a quick little hitch, and if the defense vacates to go cover those people, then they replace that with the quarterback run. That was those plays back to back. DJ once runs, the next time throws.
Another chance on 3rd down for the UM defense to try and get a stop here in the red zone. Uiagalelei, crosser over the middle, Pace down inside the 2. It's 1st and goal.
Now watch as Pace widens. They pass off the coverage for Miami, and he gains leverage on James Williams, the safety. Really good play design. The tight end takes the inside backer. The back then gets covered by the safety. He automatically has inside leverage. Very impressed right now by Brandon Streeter, the offensive coordinator for Clemson. I've called a lot of Clemson's games. This is the most creative their offense has been in years to me.
High formation with Maffa, the fullback, and Shipley, the I-back. Play action. Uiagalelei with a throwback wide open. Luke Price. That's his first catch of the year, and it's good for a touchdown. How about the 5th-year senior on senior day? Makes his first catch.
Yeah, so you're going to get everything flow this way, okay? And then you're going to watch Price. We call this a little bit of a leak back. He's this tight end who's just going to come all the way. It's called wide leak. You flow everybody one side and wide leak him all the way where everyone's vacated on the defense. Really nice play design again for Clemson.
Might have to have words with Brandon Streeter. When we met with him yesterday, said, well, Jake Brenningstool, Davis Allen, those are our pass-catching tight ends. All right, Luke Price, he's the short yardage blocker. He's the guy we bring in just to pave the way. He was lying to us. Luke Price on senior day scores the touchdown. 20 minutes of this game.
Doesn't it feel a little bit like some self-inflicted stuff? We talked about the miss, the penalty on the scramble. Defensively, guys not keeping leverage and or blown coverages. You want your young football team to settle in on the road in a tough environment.
How about the answer to today's Aflac trivia question? You alluded to it before.
Come on. It's the Fighting Napoleon Kaufman. Wanted to wear gold and purple because of him as a kid.
Empty backfield for Brown. 4-man rush. Long throw out to the edge. Incomplete. He missed Jacoby George. And again, if Clemson wins today, it would be 40 in a row. They have not lost since dropping one to Pitt here at Death Valley back in 2016.
Bob, you think it's fair to say that we've probably taken Clemson just a little bit for granted and what they've accomplished? You know, 40 at home in a row. If they win today, this would be their 12th straight year with 10 wins. I mean, it really has become one of the great sport accomplishments, certainly of my lifetime.
And their defense with another shutdown at the line of scrimmage of Henry Parrish. And their defense is as responsible for it as their offense. Obviously, they've had Heisman Trophy winners.
Two superstar quarterbacks.
Incredible numbers offensively, but I mean, since 2014, this Clemson defense has been top 10 in total defense 7 of 8 years. Top 10 in scoring defense 6 of the last 8 years. And by the way, on third down, they've been top 10 7 of the last 9 years. And they force 3rd and 10 here.
And look at these guys standing up right now. That's what you got to do as an offense. Communicate who's the bigs. Who are we blocking?
It is a blitz. There's a catch for Colby Young. Spins short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Yeah, and this defense, you talk about, you get a 3rd down conversion or 3rd down completion, and it's still 2 yards short. I think Mario Cristobal has to punt this ball, but this defense, I talked about it early on with Wes Goodland, their defensive coordinator. Obviously, Brent Venables for a long time. They come off the bus, they come off the plane blitzing. They are predicated completely on trying to create negative plays, and that's when they can get into their really fun both blitz and coverage packages.
And you can see Wes Goodwin giving his team the safe call, meaning guard against any type of a fake. On 4th down and 2. Certainly potential fake yardage, but Miami not taking a chance. Headley gets it away. And it takes a good hop for the Canes inside the 10-yard line. And will roll dead all the way down inside the 6 and see if they can at least create a 3-and-out and flip the field for their offense, as they have 8 yards of total offense to Clemson's 158. Shipley on 1st down to the 10-yard line. He picks up about 4. To Corey Couch, who was injured earlier, able to come back in and make the tackle. And now Shipley was a little slow to get up.
Trying to see as he goes into this pile. Jogged off. I think it might be okay. Oh, see a little reach.
So Phil Maffa back in as the tailback. They'll toss it to him. Blockers out in front. He's to the 14-yard line, 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Wesley Besaint, the true freshman middle linebacker, came over to make the stop. So here is a 3rd down chance for Miami after the 71-yard punt.
Yeah, so last 3rd down and short, Clemson decided to try to throw the football, get some crossing patterns versus man coverage. Miami covered him down. DJ held on to the football. I'd like to see Clemson get back to their run game here. Either go with their traditional zone read or designed quarterback run, get DJ going downhill.
Quarterback run, Uiagalelei. Very close to the 1st down. He might be short. He is. They're already signaling 4th down and a foot. And Dabo Swinney signals for the punt group.
He's got pullers out in front. Man, there's a little bit of a cutback. You'd love to see DJ go there. A little bit of ball protection, cross coverage. There's a good hole if he puts his left foot in the ground and cuts back.
Good tackle by Akeem Mesidor.
Look at Kevin Steele, their defensive coordinator, going crazy.
Jacoby George at the 40-yard line of Miami to receive.
You know, back-to-back stops by this defense for Miami. Something's got to get going for their offensive unit.
Flags down as the play is blown dead.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that'll back Aiden Swanson up to his own goal line, it looks like, to kick this one away. Well, if Miami is going to get back in the game, short of their defense scooping and scoring or
field position
making
here,
some, flip the game momentum play, this is the type of scenario, right? Kick the ball down inside the opposition's 10-yard line, get a stop, and see if your offense can do something with field position.
Yeah, and I think come out and be aggressive on offense. Maybe get some max protection and try to take a shot at some of the youth in Clemson secondary down the field.
And that punt and roll ends up at the Miami 39-yard line. So it's a 51-yard punt for Aiden Swanson.
Athleticism, the speed, the talent strictly from Clemson's front 7. The sack early on for Jeremiah Trotter. Miles Murphy squeezes the pocket. This is a big-time challenge for an offensive line that, for Miami, has got a lot of young players, and they just don't match up in the measurables. Got to do everything you can to protect that front 5.
Their best starting field position. Can they do something with it? And there's a little 3-yard down and out to Will Mallory to get the drive started.
Mallory, a true wide tight end. He's probably their best player on offense, certainly one of their most proven, played a lot of football for this program. Ja'Carri Brown is a confident player. I mean, he brought energy to this football team in his first start last week versus Georgia Tech. There was a lot of maturity in the huddle from him, an option quarterback in high school, but has plenty of talent to throw the football. He just is so needing of getting game reps in the college football experience.
Wide receiver screen, read perfectly. Nowhere for Colby Young to go. Dropped immediately by Sheridan Jones. A loss of 4.
Yeah, watch Jones, but watch Mallory, the tight end. You want him to go flat so he can pick off Sheridan Jones there. If he gets stepped up the field at all, man coverage, Jones triggers off the wide receiver, and now if you're Miami, it's another 3rd and long. You can't hold up with all these people up front for Clemson defensively.
Again, Clemson shows blitz. And now it's a look over for Brown.
Yeah, I think you're going to get some type of pressure here, and then you can get a dropper into coverage.
They're bringing all 6. Brown. Diving attempt incomplete. Restrepo laid out, but could not make the catch at midfield. And it's another 3 and out. And they waste the good field position.
Bob, you got to have timing and accuracy. 1, 2, 3, balls out now. That's great timing before the receiver's ready for it. But then you got to put the accuracy piece in part of it. Really good out route against the leverage for Restrepo. So these are these growing moments for Ja'Carri Brown. I love the timing of the throw, but you got to marry it with exactly where that ball needs to be placement-wise.
Antonio Williams and Will Shipley are both back to maybe try and nullify Headley's ability to rugby kick. It's a line drive that goes over the head of Antonio Williams and again rolls down inside the 10-yard line as we're back to Matt Barry.
All right, guys, time for your perfect match. Down 3-0 to Rutgers. The freshman, Nick Singleton, he does this. 100 yards for the touchdown. Right now, Penn State up on Rutgers, 14-10.
Are you just trying to get bowl eligible there? We in New Jersey don't ask for much.
You guys ask for a lot. You got high taxes.
We deserve a lot.
Great beaches, though.
Let's win a couple more. Playing a bowl game. So 1st and 10 for Clemson inside their own 10-yard line. Uiagalelei setting up the tunnel screen. Shipley out to the edge. Close to a 1st down.
It's been nice to see kind of the evolution of Will Shipley. I remember calling a game down here early last year, I think versus Georgia Tech, and he was kind of everyone was raving about him. He's really developed as like an all-around player, right? Like a difference maker for their offense. He's got speed, vision, burst. He runs angular with explosion. I'm a big fan of his game.
Here he is again, and he picks up the 1st down. He received offers to play lacrosse at the Division I level as well before he decided to focus on football at Clemson.
He's a little lax rat, huh? A good player, man. Kind of embodies their program as well. I saw the hurdle last week versus Louisville. He's a Paul Hornung finalist. Raised $10,000 for his hometown Charlotte Levine Children's Hospital. Great kid, great player.
Brandon Spector, one of the 9 receivers that Clemson has been able to hit here in the first half, and James Williams is going to cost Miami 15 more, it looks like.
I think the officials just had a competition. Who can throw their flag the farthest? I mean, there's everybody, every one of them threw their flag.
After play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 0, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Watch James Williams, number 0, come in there.
Now what are you doing?
Yep. He's 6, 7 yards out of bounds. James Williams, another young player, though. Physical freak. He's a key cog to their future. You could start to see just a little bit of maybe frustration set in.
That's a bad mistake to cost your team 15. Faking the quarterback draw and flipping it down the sideline was Uiagalelei. Adam Randall hauled it in for another completion, a gain of 18.
Watch the safety on the left as DJ's going to fake the quarterback power. He pulls up and back shoulders it to Randall. Really nice play design. Again, I love how quickly that decision was made by DJ.
Maffa spinning to the 35-yard line, picked up 3.5. Jafari Harvey was able to bring him down.
You know, when you talk to Brandon Streeter, their offensive coordinator, it's like, where is DJ? And he was very honest, and so was Dabo. We got to really settle him in early on in this football game. And I think the more that they've put, there's Brandon Streeter, their offensive coordinator on your screen, the more that they've put the run game in, but also like that built-in throw off of their quarterback designed run, I think it's really settled his pace in.
Uiagalelei looking for Shipley on the wheel route, instead underneath to Brenningstool, then it was deflected at the line.
Man, Brenningstool's going to be a really good player for this offense. You know, I think he'll probably be in the conversation for one of the better tight ends in college football next year. He's incredibly talented. He's more of a pass catcher right now. If he gets consistent with his technique and blocking, he's going to be a good player for DJ next year.
3rd down and 6.
Yeah, you're getting zone coverage right now. So really the big thing is trying to use your eyes if you're DJ to work these underneath defenders to see if you can get a hitch and a ball in behind.
4-man rush, quarterback run. The seas part for Uiagalelei. Stutter stepping to the sideline and the red zone before he's finally driven out, picked up 16 on the quarterback run.
Yes, you're going to watch. This guy's going to match the tight end, and as the back goes, so is the linebacker. Watch everything vacated. You got 3 techniques, which means wide defensive tackles. There's a huge seam for DJ. Peek to the right to Shipley. Everything's vacated in the middle of the field. Now go use your legs. A little bit of design, a little bit of reaction for their quarterback.
If your 2-3 techniques are going to hook outside, can you afford to have a linebacker vacate?
No, so a lot of teams do that with those wide 3 techniques to try to kind of put the center on an island. It creates 4 one-on-ones essentially. It's a good job by the guards to push them out, and then the design of the play.
Shipley dives up the middle. It would seem, though, the natural weakness to that would be if I motion out and all of a sudden the linebackers leave.
Vacated, yeah.
And both of my 3 techniques widen out to their respective right and left. I mean, where's the soft spot? Right up the middle.
Exactly. Those tackles really are taught to try and squeeze in that moment, like squeeze the pocket. A lot of times, Bobby, when you get that, you'll get stunts by the defensive ends. But credit offensively for Clemson. I mean, they were ready for that, and the guards pushed them upfield, and then DJ didn't hesitate.
So it'll be Pace. He's the motion man. Quarterback run again. And this time, Uiagalelei is brought down as he dives forward to about the 11-yard line. Jordan Miller got him around the ankles. So it's a 3rd down in the red zone. And a timeout called by Clemson. So we will step aside for just a moment. The Tigers looking to add to their lead.
They're first.
Heart-pounding design.
Like a completely unwarranted venomous shot. 3rd down and 2 for Clemson.
You got man-to-man coverage right when that receiver goes in motion and the defender trails. He knows he's got man. If you want to match up, if not, run the football.
Pace. 1st down. To Matt's point, though, it goes to show if you're Clemson what can happen. Right, like you're trying to win these games convincingly because on a day in college football where maybe the slate doesn't look to be all that impressive, you got teams that are highly ranked that are struggling as Pace is buried right about at the line of scrimmage by Mitchell Agude.
I like what Clemson's doing with the clock right now. There's absolutely no need to rush. You still have 2 timeouts in your bag. There's about 50 seconds. The goal is to wind this clock or bleed this clock down as little as possible while also trying to get into the end zone. So you don't have to play with a crazy pace.
You can tell Miami right now has 0 faith in their offense, or they might be calling timeouts to try and preserve some time. There's the slant broken up. They intended for Antonio Williams, but Corey Couch got a hand in and knocked it away with 34 seconds to go. Miami won the toss, so they'll have the ball to start the second half, but And they have 8 yards of total offense here in the first half.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure on their defense, too. There's been a ton of plays for Clemson running 45, Miami only running 16. So the young defense has been on the field a ton. The offense hasn't been able to get anything going, but you got an opportunity here. Down in the red zone, you got an opportunity to see if you can get off the field and force a field goal attempt.
Uiagalelei, blindside hit, and he is sacked back to the 16 by Akeem Mesidor. So that will force a Clemson field goal as Miami gets a stop in the red zone.
Watch Mesidor, number 90, get dipped and ripped. The sophomore transfer from West Virginia gets around Jordan McFadden. The coverage hangs on for Miami's defensive back secondary-wise. And Mesidor, who's come over, has had 5 sacks coming into this game. It's the big sack.
So Dabo Swinney calls a timeout so that BT Potter and a field goal attempt will be the final play of the opening half after we take a timeout for a quick word from Cheez-It.
Cheese.
I was feeling cute. I might delete these later.
Don't delete them. I look good. Crop yourself out.
My hair does look amazing. Cheez-It, feeling the cheesiest.
BT Potter, only 4 field goals from breaking Clemson's record for all-time most field goals made in a career. This one from 32. And for the 70th time in his Clemson career, BT Potter is good. Clemson dominant here in the first half, 24-0. They've got the lead. Time to head back to Matt Barry in the studio with the halftime report.
Mike with Susan, thank you. Dan Orlovsky, a face for radio, continues to be on TV as we welcome in the Lexus halftime report. TCU and Baylor. Game of the day. Richard.
In a long time, darn near perfect. He's been very good with his decision making. The balls come out of his hands quickly. If you're a Clemson fan, certainly if you're Dabo Swinney, you got to feel great about the performance from your quarterback in the first half.
228 yards of total offense for Clemson in the first half. 8 yards of total offense for Miami. And the Canes will start at their own 25-yard line as we take a look at today's game track, brought to you by Papa John's. And well, the numbers and some answers now to start off the third quarter, just to move the football if you're the Canes.
It's hard because of the offensive line, youth, and lack of experience, right? There's a talent differential there as well. I think if you're Miami, no longer does the score necessarily matter. You're trying to go out and just string together good plays. If you're Mario Cristobal in your offense, defense, I want to see them play with some pride, Ken.
Well, here we go. Starting off the second half. Exactly what the Canes needed as Jakari Brown gets loose. He picks up 40 yards on one snap after they had 8 yards in the first half total.
Look at, they pulled the backside guard Seymour, then lead up with the wide receiver, and then Jakari Brown. Talked about it a little bit in the first half, just his ability to use his legs, the option quarterback from high school. That is by far their best play to start this second half.
And flags. It looks like a false start will be called on the Canes. Or delay.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Let's go down to Chris Budden.
And we'll talk with Dabo Swinney going into halftime. He was really pleased with complimentary football. He said our offensive execution has been fantastic. DJ Uiagalelei making almost every throw that we've asked him to on defense, picking up the turnover. Mario Cristobal on the other end said we have to be able to match their intensity, and we have to find a way to get first downs. We can't expect our young quarterback to get into a rhythm unless we can get some first downs and keep the chains moving.
They start off with a 40-yard chunk run, but go backwards first and 15. There's a shot over the middle. And Colby Young reaches out and makes a terrific catch for 13 yards.
Yeah, really good read by Jakari Brown. Low to high versus zone coverage. The linebacker steps up, and then you rip that in route behind it. I've said this a couple times. As you see Young, the big body that went across the middle, the sophomore from New York. Just a really good job by Jakari, anticipating that window, and he's got plenty mechanically to become a very good passer of the football. Coming out with the empty, you really got to do a good job right now. Nobody in the backfield getting the ball out of your hands quickly.
Quarterback run. And a pop at the line of scrimmage from Jeremiah Trotter as he drove Brown back. Let's see where they give him forward progress to. It looks like he's probably a half-yard shy. So it will be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, you're 4 down territory right now if you're Miami, especially how this second half started. I'd love to see the ball get to the perimeter of the defense. You know, this is a Clemson defensive line with Tyler Davis and Row and KJ Henry. Like, there's a lot of size. See if you can get the ball to the perimeter.
They'll give it to Jalen Knighton, and he is driven back by Trotter. Well, Dan, 3rd down and a half-yard just became 4th down and a long one close to 2. And Miami down 24-0 will go for it.
Watch 54 just right there. I mean, that is old school clinic teach tape middle linebacker play. I said it before the 3rd down. I think this was 4 down territory for Miami. This is the right decision to go with it. Now I think you put the ball up in the air. You're going to get all-out man coverage. This is where you want to get picks and rubs. Now you got no safety in the middle of the field. You want to take a shot if you're Miami? I would love to see them try to get a pick and a rub from people to pick off one of the Clemson man defenders.
Play clock winds all the way down. It was just about to go to 0. And so a timeout called by Mario Cristobal from the sideline. 4th and 1 when we come back. Miami timeout. 4th and 1 here at Death Valley. Jalen Knighton to the right of Jakari Brown, trying to keep the drive alive.
I would look at Will Mallory if I was Miami offensively.
They'll run an option toss. Knighton lowers his shoulders. I don't think he got there. Jeremiah Trotter does it again for Clemson.
This is Trotter right here. Watch what he does. Here comes the option. I'd love to see Jakari Brown attack more, but that pitch comes out, and just look at Trotter hang and then go through the ball on that tackle multiple times today. As that ball gets kicked out to Jalen Knighton, you see Jeremiah Trotter just fly to the absolute football. I would have loved Jakari Brown to continue to press the line of scrimmage to threaten that defensive end, but I think Trotter is going to make that play no matter what.
He made 3 in a row. A little dump off to Brenningstool. And he lost the ball. It ends up with Antonio Williams. A yard shy of the 1st down.
That's Brenningstool. Boop. Right place, right time.
Will Shipley on a swing pass. Spins short of the 1st down. Nice tackle by Wesley Basaint. It'll be 3rd down and about a half-yard for Clemson. Tigers are 7 for 10 on 3rd down in the game.
You go, you flush the defense, get the coverage, run off tackle.
The keeper for Uiagalelei. 1st down. Out to the 44-yard line. He's got 9.
Yeah, watch the defensive end close. DJ's got his eyes right on him. Yep, you squeeze. Brenningstool just gets a little piece of him, and now you've out-leveraged him on that zone read. Very good decision in the quarterback zone read run game by DJ.
Uiagalelei's first Power 5 offer came when he was in 6th grade. He was meant to do this, obviously. Off play action. Looks downfield. He's going to take a shot down the sideline, incomplete. hoping for Ngata.
You know, this is an offense, Bobby, that takes a lot of shots. When you're going vertical here, watch how far he gets squeezed to the sideline if you're Ngata. I have no place to throw the football if I'm the quarterback there. I need you. In the NFL, we have imaginary red lines that are painted on the field 5 yards from the sideline. And in the go route world, you teach those receivers, you got to stay on that red line as much as possible so I have space to throw the ball. That happens too often with Ngata, who's crazy talented. He doesn't leave anywhere for the quarterback to throw the ball.
This time the toss to Maffa. They've used that toss to get Shipley out in space a couple of times, but Miami does a better job of pursuing Maffa, with Basaint getting there first. It's only a 2-yard gain, so 3rd down and 8.
Brandon Streeter, the play caller, I said it in the first half, just been very impressive watching the little nuance, the little wrinkle, the changeup that he's brought to this offense and all the different schemes that he's thrown. You're going to get zoned from Miami here. 3rd and long, you're going to get 2 safeties. This is really want to try to attack the middle of the field. You can sit here and you wrap somebody right behind you, just reading a second-level defender.
Uiagalelei out of the pocket with a cutback. He's going to try and run for it. He's got another scrambling first down.
They try to get the wrap in. Watch DJ's eyes, okay? It's 2. It's man coverage underneath, left to the right. They take the tailback as I move out. The linebacker flows. Nobody's accounted for the quarterback. Another really good and right decision by the quarterback.
Off play action. Looking downfield. And now throws it away. Uiagalelei not only has thrown for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he is now Clemson's leading rusher as well.
Probably the best game that he's played since Wake Forest. You know, and I know the Wake Forest game was the big 5-touchdown, 300-plus yardage game, but I've just been impressed. Again, I called DJ's game last year when it was relatively young in the season, and you walk away going talented, but he's got to start playing quarterback more than just being a thrower. And what I've seen today is become more quarterback, getting the right decision, getting the ball out of your hands, operating the offense rather than just talented thrower.
Backing up and makes a good decision to dirt the ball near Brenningstool with Leonard Taylor coming through. They wanted the tight end screen. It wasn't there. So now it will be 3rd down and 10. Again, they are 9 for 12 on 3rd down.
Yeah, Bobby, I call those the right decision. You know, like any quarterback in that situation can make a good one. That's the right one because it's the only one. You know, and Sean McVay taught me that when I was a little bit younger. Like, sometimes the defense wins the rep, and that's a perfect example. We've seen that multiple times tonight from DJ.
The pass rush gets through. A seam shot bobbled and dropped by Spector. Under duress, getting hit was Uiagalelei, and he still put it right on the hands of Brandon Spector. This is a terrific throw.
Yeah, right side, it's man coverage. Spector just runs a little bit of a pick route with Antonio Williams. Great ball by DJ Uiagalelei, and it just comes off Spector's hands. Is he peeking at the safety before? No, just pops out of his hands.
Kinchins was there in coverage. And how about this? Why not try a 59-yard field goal with B.T. Potter? Will it reach? And it's underneath the crossbar and out of the back of the end zone. Jacoby George was back there hoping to get a return. Dabo Swinney tries a 59-yarder. And look, there are Clemson guys right now in the NFL, and Dan, not long from now, there will be more. Jeremiah Trotter's probably going to be one of them.
He's had an afternoon. You saw him as a blitzer. He's been a run stuffer. He's ran sideline to sideline. You talk about grooving every single play he's been a part of. Obviously incredible genes with his father, but he's been a middle linebacker from birth, and he's having a little bit of a coming out party throughout this sophomore season.
Best starting field position for the Canes. As Brown looking downfield. He's going to take a shot right down the middle. Broke it up. Hoping for Frank Ladson. Good coverage by Nate Wiggins.
Wiggins is playing man coverage. They're going to get that safety in the middle of the field to cut a crosser. And that Ladson up the very top, that's a post. You want to throw this ball right down the hash if you're Jakari Brown, just about a yard and a half underthrown. You'd love to see him allow Ladson to go chase that one down. I love the play call, the aggression. Just the young player will get that ball out there in the future.
And why not be aggressive after Clemson just sent a very clear message? We have zero respect for your offense.
Totally. I think Miami's got to push the ball to the middle field right now. Clemson not interfering at anybody. Continue to take shots.
Brown under pressure, trying to stay on his feet and does. What an escape. Takes a big hit, lobs it to no man's land, and there's the flag. It'll be Trotter for roughing the quarterback. Miles Murphy had a chance for a sack, couldn't bring Brown down.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 54. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You're trying to take your shot downfield. Murphy wins on the inside. Jakari Brown does an incredible job of staying alive, and then watch Trotter pop. Come through right there. I think that's the right flag. I also think it's a pretty darn good job by Trotter of not launching or hitting with the crown of his helmet there in that situation for that targeting.
Well, Dabo Swinney wanted a holding call, I think, on Miles Murphy's rush. Instead, the 15-yard foul puts Miami at the Clemson 43.
Are they going to look at it?
This might be a targeting review.
The previous play is under review for possible targeting.
So we will step aside and see if Trotter stays in this game. At the very least, he's cost his team 15. Trotter stays in the game as the replay booth, and understandably so, Dan, they wanted to stop just to make sure this wasn't targeting, but then rightly ruled that it was not.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they kept that as a non-targeting call. I think he makes really good contact with the front of his face mask, or the face mask front of the helmet, and his hands without contacting Jakari Brown's helmet.
And again, it can be roughing the passer in a 15-yard foul and not be targeting, allowing Trotter to stay in the game. So it's still a first down for Miami at the 43 of Clemson. A little slip out into the right flat for Mallory, and he gets loose. Mallory inside the 20-yard line before he's bumped out. Andrew Makuba eventually got him out of bounds at the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 27.
Yeah, watch Mallory just slip right inside Trotter, who's coming off the edge. You ball fake and dump it off to him in man coverage. No one's accounted for him, and then he's got a huge run after the catch. Really good job by Josh Gaddis, the play caller. They lined him up outside, then they brought him in a little bit of a motion, attached him, and then brought him across the line of scrimmage.
Longest pass play of the game for Miami. Play action, Brown. Here comes the rush, and down he goes. KJ Henry came untouched. And a sack of Jakari Brown. And a loss of 10.
So KJ Henry's right here, but what you're trying to get down in the red zone is deep mesh. You're trying to get versus man coverage. These guys crisscrossing. This is a really good job secondary-wise by Clemson, passing it off. KJ Henry comes off that right tackle. So you're calling that play for man. You're trying to get your receivers crisscrossing and running away from man defenders. Clemson passes it off to the opposite corners. Henry gets the sack.
And Brown not, I guess, enough vision to see that Mallory, and you could see it at the bottom of the screen, was wide open on a check down. Instead takes the 10-yard sack. He'll roll out and look back to his left here. Now he's going to tuck it under and basically get back to the line of scrimmage. KJ Henry there again. Now it'll be 3rd down and 20.
Here, this is a really good learning moment for Mario Cristobal's true freshman quarterback. I have points. I'm in field goal range. It's 3rd and long. Let's not hold on to the ball and try to get a sack. Right? You're trying to really build winning habits for your future as well. So it's really important for this young player. If nothing's there, get the ball out. Don't run around and knock yourself out of field goal range.
Again, Clemson shows blitz. Here they come. Tipped ball at the line. Incomplete. I think it was KJ Henry again. Everywhere on that series of downs.
That's a good start for the second half. Watch KJ Henry. You're going to see with vision to the quarterback. Right hand go up now. You understand that the ball is going to come out of the young quarterback's hands quickly. Notice the defensive line. Well, Miles Murphy did not start for this unit last week. They're without Brian Brzee. But when they played disciplined in their job and they played together with effort, it's really difficult to stop them. We're seeing that tonight.
Andres Borregales out for a 44-yarder to try and at least get Miami on the board. He is a Groza semifinalist. His brother Jose won the Groza Award at Miami back in the 2020 season. And Miami does at least get on the board and get 3. And this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal, an extra point made by participating
in the field, constantly encouraging. You know, like, hey, good job, keep fighting, boys, good job. It's 24-3. You haven't had much good things to happen or go your way, but he's trying to rebuild this place, and he's trying. He understands that, like, there's a standard that you hold these kids to, but they need people to believe in them and constantly encourage them. So for them to go get those points and maybe disappointed, oh man, we don't get a touchdown. No. We went and, you know, got 3 points. That's a very encouraging sign, and I love the way that he treated his players coming off the field.
Well, at FIU tried to rebuild it. At Oregon rebuilt it. And trying to rebuild it at Miami.
Yeah, see this, Bob? Like, this just matters, man. Like, it's a young group. I've talked about that. And you can be deflated as an offense coming away from there going, gosh, we didn't get anything. But this is a really good job of coaching, saying, no, really encourage it, empower through success with those young kids.
Let's head down to Chris.
Will Mallory told me this week that Mario Cristobal is the most intense players coach that he's ever been with. He says during the week, the most surprising thing that he's learned about him, he will come in and spend 30 minutes in the tight end room on Tuesday and Wednesday. And he does that with every single position group. Just the amount of dedication and time that he spends with each of them.
Like when we were meeting with him on Thursday, you know, he was talking about what's your why, and he like looked us dead in the eye, and he's like, I love football. I love football. And he said there is no secret. The secret is in the dirt. And I just loved hearing it.
Shipley covers up a fumble. And Clemson holds on to the football. But when Miami was truly Miami, when they were the most dominant program in college football, he was in the middle of it. He knows what it looks like blocking for Gino Torretta and a couple of national championship teams back in the late 80s and early 90s.
And that's what he was saying, like, the secret's in the dirt, man. It doesn't just happen. Ed Reed's on their sideline. He's going to be in full support of the rebuild of this program. Really good job by DJ getting 1-2. But, like, he even said it, like, you got to lose yourself in all of this. And he's a coach that's Oregon, and now he's trying to do what many have tried for a long time now. But if anybody can do it, it's him.
Slant. Antonio Williams. And that looks to just be enough for a first down.
There he is.
You were telling us a story off the air earlier about how he was a football savant.
He was
right?
a liar. He was a liar on the football field. I mean,
in the best possible way.
Just you can never trust whatever his body's told you on the field and then on play what he was doing, because he was doing it to get you to believe something that wasn't true.
Flag thrown on what you have to think is pass interference. Shipley running a seam route, and Wesley Basaint tripped him up.
Ed can still play.
He came late in his career to the Jets.
Pass interference, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And I remember talking to Rex Ryan and Mike Pettin, who was the defensive coordinator at the time, about Ed Reed, and they were like, you don't even try to understand the computer that is his head in football. He just, no one ever just instinctively could read and do the opposite, as you said, of what you think he's going to do and then go make a play.
I told you we had a play installed against them, and our coach was like, hey, I'm going to call this play. Do not throw the ball on the seam. He's going to make you think the seam is open. We're calling it for a sluggo. Whatever you do, don't throw the seam. Sure enough, we call a play in the game. He turns to the sluggo, which is a slant and go, and right when he does that, he wheels back to the seam. Our quarterback thought it was going to be open. Pick six.
That might be an interception for Miami, as Uiagalelei missed his target, and DJ Ivey was there to pick it off at the Canes' 20-yard line. Ivy with his second interception this season.
Ivy, one of these seniors that plays on this defense. Looks like he got both elbows underneath. DJ just overshoots that deep crosser. Don't touch it all. I think it's a pick.
Again, the ball can make contact with the ground.
Right.
If in the judgment of the officials that he has complete firm control of it, and
maybe it does
now
wiggle a little.
If he on the way down has the ball hit the ground and you see the ball move and they determine that he didn't have complete control of it, then it would be an incomplete pass, but ruled an interception on the field. And I agree, I think, Dan, with your first instinct, I'm not sure we've seen anything that would overturn the call. Looks like his right arm's under the ball.
Yeah, I think the ball is like moving at the end, but it's like him trying to control it or like move it up his belly almost. Looks like his left elbow's underneath, or right elbow underneath there, and see right in this moment, Bob, it starts to like, but I think he's moving it rather than the ground does that.
We're about to get the verdict.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Miami.
So Miami does indeed get the takeaway on Uiagalelei's 6th interception of the season.
Second level defenders are everything when you're throwing these crossing routes, okay? You're gonna get a post, and then this is the cross that Uiagalelei is gonna try to hit. Now, Bob, 1, 2, 3 and hitch. That's your first hitch. If these guys are that deep, check the ball down. He goes one hitch and tries to float it over, then it sails too much. Had your back in the check down. Listen to your feet.
So Jakari Brown with Jalen Knighton in the backfield. It's quarterback keeper, and Brown has about 1.5 yards. Submarined by Sheridan Jones.
You gotta be happy if you're Mario Cristobal. DJ Ivy sitting there right there with the interception. The effort's been really good in the second half. We just talked about the offense went down, started the second half with a good drive. Now the defense gets a turnover. At least these young players are trying to fight as long as they can.
Blitz coming. Incomplete pass. Errant for a wide open Will Mallory. That's one Jakari Brown's got to hit.
Yeah, just step too far. Mallory's has a little slip when he's breaking on that out route, but a step too far. 3rd and 8. Okay, this is what more than likely Clemson is going to give you. Pressure, so you're going to have to communicate to your offensive line who is who. Offensive line, you block these guys, back, you block these guys, and then man coverage is going to happen. Who's your best person or concept in man? Right, look at all these bodies. You got to make sure as Murphy's out here, see how spread out this offensive line is with only one guy in the middle. You're going to have to be really good with Jakari Brown if you got to climb the pocket.
And all that movement for Clemson continues right before the snap. They rush 5. Brown sees the rush, takes off, won't get there. Barrett Carter came up and lowered the boom as Justin Maskell was in pursuit as well. After the pick, Miami goes 3 and out.
Barrett Carter, man. You want a linebacker who finds the ball, has instincts, he runs to the football, he can blitz from anywhere, cover a tight end and hit, and he's your guy. Nothing on the football field that young man cannot do.
And Wes Goodwin told us yesterday, a once-in-a-lifetime player. That's saying a lot with some of the guys that he's seen.
Sure.
A line drive, end-over-end kick. Williams on the return, right up the middle of the field. And a good one for Antonio Williams. A return of 18 yards coming up tomorrow morning on Sunday NFL Countdown. Matt Hasselback goes all access with so great field position again for Clemson near midfield to start this drive. Quarterback run, Uiagalelei across the midfield strike, into the secondary with a move. Finally brought down at the Miami 25. Caleb Johnson ultimately tracked him down after 27 yards.
Yeah, you pull the backside guard. Mitchell Mays, you pull the tailback as a lead blocker. Davis Allen goes up and easy, big chunk gain for DJ Uiagalelei. I love the fact that he throws the interception, right? And then Brandon Streeter, the play caller, comes right back and says, okay, let's get that out of your memory. Let's put a new good one in. Go to the quarterback run.
Up the seam, in stride, the ball pops out. Miami's got another takeaway. Davis Allen lost it. And DJ Ivy recovered it. So back-to-back takeaways for the Miami defense.
Now watch Allen come from the left side. You fake the toss sweep, rip the seam behind. Now watch Cam Kitchens, 24. Yup. 3 interceptions last week. 1 96-yarder return for a touchdown. Excuse me, 99-yarder return for a touchdown. That's teach tape. Talked about Cam. Natural instincts lead the country in interceptions, man. Puts his helmet all over the football.
And Mario Cristobal talked about Wesley Bassett and Cameron Kitchens on defense as if you're going to get Miami back to being Miami, those are the kinds of players he needs. Brown holds onto the ball for a long time and throws it to nowhere as he was being brought down at the 1-yard line. He was inside the pocket, so getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage, irrelevant for intentional grounding. There had to be a receiver somewhere in the area, and I'm not sure there was.
Yeah, Pride comes on the pressure. He wants to throw it, but then Pride fake jumps. Bobby, I think he's in the end zone there.
This is intentional grounding.
Number 11. Ball placed in the smothered foul, lost it down, second down.
They're going to rule that he had not yet broken the plane of the end zone when he committed intentional grounding. So it's not going to be a safety, but it's going to put the ball, it looks like, at the 1-yard line. Unless his knee was down before he even threw the ball forward.
But his knee's down in the end zone.
Well, it's where the football is when his knee goes down.
Don't you think the ball's in the end zone?
It did look that way to me. They ruled that the ball was outside the end zone when he went down, and they ruled intentional grounding as well. They didn't even rule him down by contact. So this will certainly be one for the replay booth to take a look at.
Yeah, I think that's a safety.
I think you're right.
I think the ball is in the end zone when his right knee is down. Right? Whew. That's a great shot.
And to me, that ball, you're right, is over the goal line.
The runner's knee was down with the ball in the end zone. It was over the play as a safety.
So replay got it right, and the Clemson defense scores. And Jakari Brown, Dan, paid the price for holding onto the ball for an eternity. With that Clemson pass rush coming, you just can't do that.
That hurts. So this is a really good job by Pride, okay? This is a great teaching moment for anybody, a young kid who's going to be a blitzer at home. He's going to corner blitz, okay? Now your receiver's going to hook up. Now watch what happens as Pride is going on that pressure. Right there, he is going to now jump. The vision of the quarterback to the receiver is taken off, and now he starts to panic. Really good job by Pride continuing to rush. But for a young quarterback who's like, oh, here comes the corner, I want to throw that hitch route. The blitzer comes in my way. Now I go into panic mode, and that results in that safety.
So the Clemson lead up to 26-3.
Gosh, that was such a good route or a rep by Toriano Pride. That is more push-ups than you've ever done in your life.
Easily.
How many could you do in a row right now?
Oh, I would be tapped out after the first touchdown was scored if I was inside that costume.
Jeez. Aren't you folks from New Jersey GTL, Gym Tan Laundry?
More like Taylor Ham Tan Laundry, TTL. A short kick. And it's going to come down with a knee down, I think, Shipley at the 29-yard line. Well, coming up tonight, 8 Eastern, over on the ACC network. The day is capped off with a good game between Syracuse and Wake Forest in prime time. And then following the conclusion of that game, the ACC huddle crew with a complete wrap-up, as well as the whole day of highlights, analysis, interviews with players and coaches. They will have you covered on the ACC network all night. Game and post-game coverage as well with the ACC huddle. Well, Clemson needs to make statements to the selection committee with their last 3 games, and they are making one today against Miami. Shipley spins and is brought down after a gain of a ½ yard by Cameron Kinchens again.
What a great fill. I mean, Kinchens comes from 12 yards off the ball and just completely triggers. He's a future. And we talked about him, James Williams, Bisssaint, Leonard Taylor. I mean, those guys have got to be the backbone of this rebuild.
Kinchens only a sophomore. And what a season he has had. Uiagalelei broke it up. Adam Randall, the intended receiver. And let's go down to Chris Button.
Bob, want to feel old for a second? I was talking with Cam Kitchens this week, who grew up in Miami, grew up a huge Canes fan. He said, I can remember sitting in my living room watching highlights of the 2001 team. Highlights that were on tape because he wasn't actually alive when the 2001 national championship team. But still can recall moments with his dad sitting there in the living room rewatching those highlights.
Ouch. Does
It's a
hurt.
good story. Those teams weren't bad.
3rd down and 9. Uiagalelei. Long throw to the sideline. On time. That's a terrific throw. And a 3rd down conversion. The true freshman, Cole Turner.
Just watch his timing. 1, 2, 3, ball out before Turner's waiting for the football. And then how about that placement? You see that left arm get raked in by Stevenson. That's the difference. Accuracy is throwing to your guy. Ball placement is throwing away from the defense. Really good rhythm, timing, and placement by DJ.
Uiagalelei on a keeper for 3 yards. And that should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. No reason for Clemson to snap the ball again before the end of the 3rd. Down to 10 seconds to go in the quarter. DJ Uiagalelei, 177 yards passing, 77 yards rushing. He's accounted for a couple of touchdowns. And here comes the blindside rush. The ball pops out. That might be ruled a fumble. I think it is. It is scooped up by Jordan Miller. He's down the sideline to the 10-yard line. Akeem Mesidor blindsides Uiagalelei, and everyone stopped as if it was an incomplete pass, except Miller picked it up and almost scooped and scored.
Right off the left side, there's Mesidor, and then Harvey thinks that he had the chance for a pick. Mesidor pops the ball out, and then Jordan Miller continues to chase after it. Really good job by him.
The ruling on the field is a fumble. The previous play is under further review.
And that's a fumble.
Right.
Uiagalelei actually recovered to make the tackle on Jordan Miller. So the 3rd straight time that Clemson's offense has turned the ball over.
That ball looks like it's moving before his arm's going forward.
His hand has to be coming forward with firm control of the ball. Now, the moment his hand starts to come forward, it would be an incomplete pass. But he's pulling his hand back. Yeah, his hand's not coming forward. That's clearly a fumble.
That's a great
That's
shot.
a further review. The ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down, Miami.
You know, Bobby, talking with Dabo yesterday, it's, is the offensive line potentially playing a little bit better than the stats, so to speak, say? I think that plays a little bit of an example of that. I can't give that one to McFadden. I got to give that one to DJ. 2nd and 8. One's not there. You've had so many good plays to get into 2 or 3, 4. He just gets stuck, hung a little bit, retreats, and the ball pops out.
Jake Garcia taking over at quarterback now for Brown. He'll hand one off to Parrish, and he'll barely squeeze inside the 10-yard line for a yard. So Jakari Brown looks like his day is over after only putting 3 points on the board through 3 quarters. So the redshirt freshman Jake Garcia with a chance to play once again. Played well in that start against UVA. An overtime win.
Here comes pressure, Bob, right? You're getting pressure all out here. This is when, as a quarterback, you try to find this one-on-one matchup and work the middle of the field.
Right up the middle, down to the goal line, reaching the ball out is Parrish, and he broke the plane. Miami with a touchdown. Fifth rushing touchdown of the season for Henry Parrish.
Yup. That is close again.
And the replay booth wants to stop the game again, just to make sure.
You on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Before his hip hits, does the ball break the plane, or is the knee down first? And it looks as if that left knee may be down there before the ball gets to the goal line.
I agree.
And I think Mario Cristobal realizes it as well, so he wants his offense to be ready to get back out there and be set to run a third down play from inside the 1-yard line.
After further review, the runner's knee was down with the ball at the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal. Miami.
And I think Mario Cristobal looked up at the big screen here, Dan, and saw very quickly that that would be the ruling. You can see him bring his offense over. So, guys, let's get ready to make a third down play call here.
Probably lean on that run game. I'd go on the right side. You know, behind Inez Cooper, who's the true freshman, and DJ Scaife, who's the senior with 50 starts. We're at the right side of that offensive line.
Easy flip into the left flat for the touchdown. So a good read by Garcia as he's able to get one to a wide open Brantley in the end zone.
Bobby, this is all about motion. So Brantley's going to go here, back, and then to the flat, okay? Watch the confusion by everybody on Clemson. Look at this confusion going on. Who's got who? Now he's going to leak to the flat. You go ball fake. Everybody's committed. No one's communicated on that back end for that secondary motion, and then the walk-in touchdown.
So Miami does finally find the end zone as Khalil Brantley scores his first touchdown of the season. Uiagalelei coughed it up on the sack by Mesidor. The run back by Jordan Miller sets up the Brantley score. So finally the turnover costs Clemson as Miami scores their first touchdown. 13:45 to go. And Clemson getting a little sloppy, turning this into a 2-possession game here in the fourth quarter, Dan.
It's really because their quarterbacks held the ball a little bit, forced interception. They had the fumble on the completion down the red zone. Just a little bit of lack of focus maybe from their offensive unit.
Shipley from the 4. Makes a man miss. And gets out to about the 29-yard line as we go back to Matt.
Updating you, big game Bob. Dallas Hayden's been the guy to step up today. This gave the Buckeyes a 17-13 lead, and then Hayden would do it again. Maryland staying close in this one. Here from about the same yard line, 3 yards out, 27-13. Buckeyes starting to pull away. Also, Kentucky, Georgia. Kenny McIntosh. It's kind of a slow game for Georgia, 16-6 here in the fourth.
With Dan Orlovsky and Chris Button on Bob Wischusen. It's a 16-point lead for Clemson, but Shipley goes nowhere on first down. Looks like he lost a yard. Wrapped up by Leonard Taylor. So things have gotten a little sluggish here in the second half for the Clemson offense.
They just had, early on, DJ had such great rhythm, conviction with what his eyes were telling him. Ball was coming out. He made really right and good decisions, both as a thrower and a runner. This second half, it's just been a little sluggish, a little indecisive, and giving the football away a couple times.
The toss to Shipley. He gets walloped out of bounds for a gain of a couple. James Williams came up and made the stop. A gain of only 2, so it will be 3rd down and 9.
These are moments, Bobby, like you got no business being in this game if you're Miami. They've continued to play as hard as they can, and now you got to really control your breathing and your pace if you're Clemson and DJ, because the pressure can start to build up.
Miami rushes 4 on 3rd down. Uiagalelei throws it left, incomplete behind Shipley. So it is a 3 and out. The clock, of course, stops as well with 12.5 minutes to go on the incompletion. And there's starting to be a little bit of life and belief on that Miami sideline. And some of the Clemson fans not happy with what they're watching right now.
This offense is very much so stagnant right now. The quarterback doesn't trust the pocket. Again, he looks like a completely different guy in the second half than he did in the first half. And Miami's got a little bit of life.
Colby George calls for a fair catch and fields it on a bounce. Out of bounds with pretty good field position. And tomorrow night, catch a terrific top 5 college basketball match at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN and the app. Oscar Tshiebwe, Drew Timme. That is a heavyweight matchup in the front court as Tshiebwe made the move from West Virginia to Kentucky and is now an AP preseason All-American. The only 2 unanimous selections go head-to-head tomorrow night. Clemson shows blitz, and Jake Garcia with a look over.
Now Clemson's going to change what they're doing. Miami's trying to get into a good play. Clemson's going to continue to bring pressure. It's just going to be a different look.
And a false start. John Campbell, the left tackle, moved.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, first down.
When you're playing that kind of cat and mouse game, this offensive lineman get antsy, man. Hey, this is our play. No, we're checking the play. The defense is checking. The defense is moving. Sometimes you just want to call your play and play fast. You got perimeter throws if you want Miami. Ball out to Mallory on a quick out.
Here comes the blitz. And it is out quick. Colby Young makes the catch. That was decisive from Jake Garcia, Dan, with that blitz coming.
Yeah, they saw a little bit of a pre-snap tell. Pressure was going to come off the edge, and you knew that the corner was going to bail into the boundary, get the ball out quickly for a completion. Now you're back into rhythm.
2nd down and 7 after an 8-yard gain.
See, now it doesn't look like any pressure. 6-man box. So if you're Miami, do you try to punch or run? I'd continue to try to get the ball for these short completions.
They give it to Knighton, and he is close to a first down. Cut down about a half-yard shot. It'll be 3rd down and 1. R.J. Mickens made the tackle. The only touchdown Miami scored, they went in short field from the 10-yard line after a fumble recovery. But it did breathe a little life back into the Canes. And now they've got the ball back in a 2-possession game. 3rd down and 1. And a timeout called from the sideline by Miami. So the Canes down to only 1 timeout left.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. The Shaq-a-Roni is back at Papa John's, and it's fit to feed a Shaq-sized family. And in part by Target. Score low prices and great deals only at Target.
It is tradition here at Death Valley. They storm the field after wins, and they've won 39 in a row. And they've got a 2-score lead on Miami with 11:08 to go in the fourth quarter, but Miami has the ball. 3rd down and 1 near midfield. They've taken the ball away 3 times in a row, Dan, and scored with a short field on the last one. That is the definition of a home field advantage.
What a stud that kid is.
Yes. Think he knows the cameras on him? I'm going to guess yes.
Shy kid.
So 4 down territory, you'd have to think, for the Canes. 3rd down and a half yard after they called their second timeout. Quarterback run as Brown's back in, and he's got the first down. How about that? They put Jakari Brown back in at quarterback, and he is able to get the ball to midfield, and now they'll send Jake Garcia right back in and Brown to the sideline.
I think Miami might have something right now when they're pulling people on their run game. You know, when they get those guards getting pulled, whether it's Inez Cooper or Lawrence Seymour, Clemson's struggling right now to stop that. Double teams from one side, pull the backside guy. I'd continue to try to lean into that until Clemson shows you they can shut it down.
Play action for Garcia. Wants the deep shot down the sideline. Incomplete. He was hoping for Jaleel Skinner, the tight end. Jeremiah Trotter stayed with him in coverage. That looked like a good throw from Garcia.
Yeah, right here is the tight end. Now here is Trotter, who's got to carry him all the way vertical. Ball fake, runs to undercut. Now carry the hip. Just a little bit more out there. He's got a big-time touchdown to your tight end, Jaleel Skinner. Great job by Trotter getting that right hand in there. See, in these situations, Bob, when everybody's up at the line of scrimmage, see, now Clemson's checking, right? So you check, they check. You got to get ahead of that a little bit. Perimeter screen them to make them run.
Play clock at 2. It goes to 0, and there's the flag. Did they call a timeout from the sideline again?
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So a delay of game taken by the Canes. We check in with Matt.
All right, guys, want to update you on Maryland, Ohio State. The Terps have made it a game again. Talia Tungavailoa takes it in himself. They go for 2 and get it right now, 27-21. Start of the fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up after your game, Hendon Hooker in Tennessee on the road at South Carolina. That coming up after you go finally.
So that's that analytics move, down by 2 touchdowns late, or at least in the second half. Go for 2 and maybe have a chance to win the game with an extra point at some point. Another deep shot, and this one will be incomplete. Overthrowing Colby Young was Garcia.
Now you can see Dabo right there with Toriano Pride. They try to double move him, and he bit on it absolutely 0. Miami right now is in a little bit of like trying to be perfect on offense, trying to figure out exactly what Clemson's doing. I think something like just pace, rhythm, tempo for their offense would go a long way.
3rd down and 15. Couple of deep shot incompletions and a delay of game call.
Pick the screen.
There comes a 5-man rush. Stepping up, getting out of the pocket, Garcia. Gets waffled back at the 36-yard line. Trenton Simpson buries him. And now Miami, down by 2 possessions with 10 minutes to go, is compelled to punt as they just lost 7 more.
Bobby, this is Simpson right here, okay? I want you to watch how he handles this. Fake blitzes. Now as the back goes this way, he's got great vision on Garcia. Watch what happens. Garcia now breaks and he bursts straight to him. He bluff blitzes, pretends or drops into coverage on the back, and then triggers to the quarterback when he runs. That's phenomenal linebacker play.
Williams muffs the kick and gets bailed out. Nearly another mistake by Clemson after a 57-yard punt. Tuesday night, you can see the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will break them down from top to bottom, have coaches' reactions, as well as a live interview with NC State AD and committee chairman Boo Corrigan. That's Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the app.
You know, Bobby, I'd like to see Clemson not try to chase big plays on this drive. Be methodical, lean into that quarterback run game a little bit, get the ball out of DJ's hands. You really want, with about 9:30 left in this game, to finish it off for them with one really solid, consistent drive.
Shipley follows his blockers and gets 4 yards on first down. And I have to think Clemson right now, probably hoping the committee has not caught the second half of this game.
Yeah.
Because whatever statement they made in the first half, they've gone backwards here in the second half. It's been an ugly quarter plus of football since halftime for Dabo Swinney's team. Uiagalelei will keep it and get out to the 22, maybe the 23-yard line, a yard shy of a first down. Leonard Taylor made the tackle. 3rd down and 1.
Leonard Taylor, another transfer. Excuse me, not Jackson, a transfer. Mesidor, a transfer. Goudet, a transfer. They're this defensive unit from Miami. They've played really tough in this second half, specifically that defensive line. They're going to have to hold on to blocks here. I think somebody, Basaint maybe, is going to have to be really responsible to fly to DJ as a ball carrier.
It is a quarterback keeper, and picking up the first down and then some. Uiagalelei out to the 37-yard line. It was Basaint that made the tackle, but Uiagalelei gets 14.
Yeah, watch Davis Allen come from the left side. He reads the defensive end. Now you've got that lead blocker out in front. Really situationally very good play call, but that's what they did in the first half so well, right? They were 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, where there's that balance of they can utilize quarterback run, they can get ball downhill with Shipley, they can get a kick out to the flat. So as long as they're being efficient on 1st and 2nd down, the whole playbook is available for them.
Play action. Uiagalelei to the flat. And the catch is made by Brenningstool, but he only gets a yard. James Williams hustled over to bring down the tight end.
See, like that for me, even though the completion's out there, it just feels like you're chasing big plays there. You've just gone pound, 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 3 plays in a row running the football. That now is not the time to try to hit one of those big play action shots. Continue to lean into that. Because now you're in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. It's like, okay, do we really want to drop back and play pitch it football, or do we want to run the ball and try to get to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5? Miami's just playing one-on-one man coverage. Our guys are better than yours.
The toss to Shipley. Speed to the edge. About a yard shy of the first down. DJ Ivey made the stop. That will take us under 6.5 minutes to go. And remember, the Canes already have used 2 of their 3 timeouts.
Sure.
So if the run game continues to produce on this drive for Clemson, they could end the game on this possession. Miami can only stop the clock once.
And you got to be ready for, if you're Miami, for quarterback run. Like, what is who's responsible defensive end, squeeze, square shoulder? Like, you got to be anticipating that.
And now Dabo Swinney will call a timeout from the sideline with 6 minutes remaining. 3rd down and 2 when we come back.
I'm back home for the holidays, wearing my favorite LL Bean.
An incredible game. And Tennessee in the 5 spot right now in the college football playoff rankings. Hoping that a couple of wins at the end of the year and then sit around. Maybe the dominoes fall their way. 3rd down after the timeout. Shipley up the middle for a first down. Under 6 minutes to go. Uiagalelei with a slant right up the seam in stride. Breaking tackles his Brenningstool inside the 5-yard line. 49-yard catch and run for the sophomore Jake Brenningstool.
This is really good. You're going to motion Shipley out, so Brenningstool's going to kind of widen like he's a blocker. Watch the left side of your screen, hesitates the linebacker, and then you replace right behind him. Really good design. Will Shipley, he's our best player. Lets everybody on the defense look at him, and then the tight end from Brentwood, Tennessee replaces. Beautiful subtlety on his nuanced route.
Clemson looking for some style points here. It is Shipley up the middle at the goal line. Gets the push, and there it is, the Clemson touchdown. th rushing touchdown of the season for Will Shipley after Brenningstool set it up.
Watch just the leg drive, Bob. Like he gets down in there, low pads, and just push, 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 push. Good job by the big fellas up front. And he just crosses right over there. Really nice job. Good Clemson drive. That looked a little bit like their first half drive. Committed to the run game, controlled the line of scrimmage. That's what that offense looked like early on.
Potter adds the point after, and any tension on that Clemson sideline or in this crowd. Will Shipley, icing on the cake for Clemson.
See what you did.
33-10, Clemson has the lead. After Will Shipley caps that last 8-play touchdown drive. They do have fun at their football games here at Clemson.
It's a great scene, man. It's one of my favorite places to call a game. Great scene.
Returnable kick for Brashard Smith. Out across the 30. Good return to about the 39-yard line. The ball popped out, but it looks like he was ruled down. He is. Let's go back to Matt Barry.
Guys, you're moving right along, which means we'll be able to kick Tennessee, South Carolina on time here on ESPN. Jalen Hyatt, the Vols, rocking those sweet orange helmets tonight in the Barnyard in Columbia. We'll have that coming up. Plus, elsewhere around the 3:30 Eastern window, Ohio State, Maryland still close. 3-point game in the fourth quarter on ABC. Plenty to watch, gentlemen, in Week 12 of the college football season.
And you see North Carolina doing their job, 17-0 against Georgia Tech, as it is going to be North Carolina and Clemson in the ACC championship game. Jake Garcia back to throw, slings one to the sideline. Catch made by Will Mallory. Now, Clemson has South Carolina here, Dan, to close out the regular season, and that's a non-conference matchup. That's the rivalry game. North Carolina with a potential hiccup game as they've got NC State in the in-state rivalry game between those two schools. That, of course, a conference matchup. Now, that can't ruin North Carolina's trip to the ACC title game. They've got that locked up. Here comes the blindside hit, and the ball pops out. Trenton Simpson untouched. Garcia coughs it up. Clemson has it with under 4 minutes to go. But I was going to say the hope in the ACC is that Clemson and North Carolina head to that ACC title game, both with their current resumes intact. And then who knows what could happen.
This is called the fire zone. Simpson triggers, and then the defensive end opposite drops. He takes away the hot route for the quarterback or the answer. He becomes unblocked. Ball out. Simpson had that great sack of Garcia early on when he tried to scramble, and then he comes untouched off the edge.
Cade Klubnik, by the way, is now in the game. And he is going to scoot inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. So this, the heralded true freshman quarterback that helped lead a comeback against Syracuse earlier this season when Uiagalelei was benched. Gatorade Texas Player of the Year, finalist for the National Player of the Year, and the heir apparent at quarterback if Uiagalelei moves on.
Superstar talent. He just needs to play. I was down in the field pregame watching him throw, and you just sit there and go, yup, like that's the way it's supposed to look when it comes out of his hands. You know, it just, the power, the precision, the speed, the zip on the football, he rips it.
Klubnik sets up the tunnel screen. Drew Sweeney. Not bad when the coach's son gets into the act on senior day. And we've got an injured Hurricane defender on the play. Is that Jordan Miller, who had the scoop earlier this half?
I think it might be Mesidor.
Let's see. I think it's Miller, just haven't gotten a clear
right.
Look at the number.
It's Miller, yep. You're right.
So during the injury timeout, again, still to come for both of the Tar Heels and Clemson Tigers is the ACC championship game. And you'll catch that game at 8 p.m. Eastern, December 3rd on ABC. Now, our CFP gives North Carolina literally no chance to make the college football playoff, even if they were to win out. But
which is interesting.
Giving Clemson a 51% chance to make it, and that's just running every possible computer model you can. And you figure out about half the time, if Clemson were to win out, you would get the right teams to win and lose to free up a spot and Clemson to be back in that top four.
And that Carolina offense can score. We had them a little bit early on when they got thumped candidly by Notre Dame. And they can score. They got a kid, Drake May, that's going to eventually likely be a #1 NFL draft pick. It's interesting, though, because Clemson needs, what do they need for the college football playoff? They need to win out, right? And then win the ACC championship game, obviously. They need a TCU loss. They need a USC loss. They need Ohio State to absolutely obliterate Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, or the likely Big Ten championship game.
And they need Georgia to just steamroll their way as well.
Yeah, they need, I didn't mean Big Ten championship. They need Ohio State to hammer Michigan next week and then go on to win the Big Ten championship. And then they need Georgia to win.
Because if Georgia were to be upset by LSU, say in an SEC title game, would Georgia drop all the way from 1 out of the top 4?
Unlikely,
no.
Unlikely.
So you need Georgia to win, just secure the top spot as Klubnik will take off, break tackles, and get to the 5-yard line. And look who else is on the field.
Ah, great.
Kirk Herbstreit, I hope you're watching as your son Ty is out there on senior day.
That's got to be a cool moment, man.
You see a junior class listed there because of that extra COVID eligibility year, but he was honored earlier today on senior day.
Can we get him a ball? Maybe throw him a slant?
That'd be fun. Getting lassoed down is Kobe Pace. Leonard Taylor with a tackle for loss down to the last minute and 22 of the fourth quarter. All right, here we go. Herbstreit wide right. Kirk's son. Drew Sweeney in the slot right. Dabo's son.
Change the play, Klubnik.
3rd down and 3. Will the quarterback look right? He's going to sprint out to the right. He's going to throw it right. Reaches for the pylon, and Sweeney comes up short. It'll be 1st and goal. 52 seconds to go.
Throw it again. Sprint right option. Sweeney does a good job of coming underneath, a little bit of a pick. Good rip by Klubnik.
Indy.
How about the Ty Herbstreit, Hunter Renfrow pick play for the touchdown?
Can we get that going? Are they together now at the bottom of the screen?
They're
again?
at the bottom of the screen.
Come on, run it to the left.
Now it's the slot left for Sweeney. Wide left for Herbstreit. Klubnik gives it to Pace. Touchdown. Well, it was ugly in the third and probably about 5 or 6 minutes into the fourth quarter as well for Clemson, but now they're getting some of those style points that you had to figure Dabo Swinney would be after. And now a timeout called by Dabo Swinney because, again, he wants to get some of the seniors out there to at least get a snap in the game and be part of the point after attempt.
40 in a row at home, man. 12 straight years of 10 or more wins.
Well, they have become college football royalty. It wasn't that long ago there was that old kind of quote-unquote Clemsoning, right? They would not win the big one because at some point they'd hurt themselves. That is so far now in the history books with what Dabo Swinney has been able to do. 5 of the last 7 national championships have been either Clemson or Alabama. Over the past, say, 7 or 8 years, the 2 winningest teams in college football, Alabama and Clemson. He has built a kingdom here, and it looks like it's going to continue.
And we were there, the facilities, the 100 yards of wellness that they have for their program and their players, the indoor basketball court. He said he hit a game winner over C.J. Spiller. I don't know. I cannot confirm that. But I did find it interesting, hearing him talking. He said the message to the team was what we're about to accomplish, which was another 10-win season and then 40 wins at home. And then he said all those teams that didn't get there, or like when Tom Osborne didn't get to 48, why? Why did they not get to 48? Or why did another school not get to, what is this, 12 years in a row? Who didn't get to 13 years in a row? Why did that not happen? So for a guy who's accomplished a lot and a program that has accomplished a lot, the kind of consistent chase to go be better, man, is very impressive.
Returnable kick for Smith to the 21-yard line with 10 seconds to go. So this will be a 30-point Clemson win. And Dabo Swinney's team with their 12th consecutive 10-win season, the 9th time that they will be perfect in the ACC. And they continue the winning streak that, as you mentioned earlier, means no senior on this team has ever lost a home game.
And they get a chance to do 41 next week versus South Carolina. Man, the standard of being your best, not the best, but your best, has become a calling card, and I think today encapsulates a lot of that.
Miami runs it one last time, and that makes it official. 40-10, Clemson over Miami. For Dan Orlovsky and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen saying so long from Clemson. Back to Matt Barry in the studio.
Bob, thank you. Another win for Clemson coming up just under 12 minutes here on ESPN. Tennessee, South Carolina out there in Columbia. Williams-Brice.